Hello students, how are you? Look, there is another assignment from topic methods of separation. After going through your textbook, you must be able to answer all of the questions which are given in this worksheet. And when you solve this worksheet, believe me, it will be a very strong help in preparing for the exams. So let's begin the discussion with methods of separation. First, we revise why we need to separate substances and where do we need. Whenever we perform some experiments, the chemical changes can bring about the physical changes in substances, and sometimes to separate them we need pre-planned actions. And what are those methods which are used commonly are discussed in detail in your textbook. So let us apply all the concepts together. The worksheet begins with the multiple choice questions, and the very first is, which method could be used to obtain charcoal? You know what charcoal is? Charcoal is pure carbon, black carbon, from a mixture of powdered charcoal with sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is an ionic compound which is a white crystalline solid. And first we see how we are going to separate these two solids. These two solids, from these two, sodium chloride is soluble in water, but the black charcoal is not. So first we will make a solution, then we will be separating the insoluble solid from the solution. So select the smart answer which is closest to this method. The second MCQ is, hydrogen chloride or HCl is very soluble in water, whereas the chlorine is the only slightly soluble in water. Both gases, means hydrogen chloride and chlorine gas, both gases can be dried using concentrated sulfuric acid. You know, during your lab there are certain chemicals which are used in drying up gases, and sulfuric acid concentrated is very important drying substance. Which diagram represents the correct method of obtaining pure dry chlorine from damp chlorine containing a small amount of hydrogen chloride? So we have a mixture of chlorine and hydrogen chloride gas. So in all these four options, you can see the conical flasks are used and delivery tubes. So you have to select the correct diagram which will be separating and drying chlorine and HCl gases. So you see in option number A, the mixture is passed through a conical flask which has concentrated sulfuric acid, means in this first flask drying is taking place. And when we dry the mixture, the removal of water takes place. But when this dried mixture is passed through water, again the addition of water will be done. So option A seems to be wrong. Then we see option C. Again the mixture is passed through sulfuric acid to dry it up. Then when the delivery tube is seen, here the aerial delivery tube is passed into the aerial section. So it is not a good handling. When we see option D, again the delivery tube should be immersed in the mixture to pass it through water. But when I consider option B, I can see the exact handling of apparatus. First, the mixture of chlorine and HCl is passed through water. to separate the soluble gas from chlorine. Then it is passed to concentrated H2SO4. And this is the phase where absorption of water is going on. And the aerial part, the aerial or the upper one, delivery tube, is just passing out the purified and separated dry gas. The next MCQ, a student investigates the speed of the reaction between a lump of zinc and acid at room temperature. Again, the speed of the reaction means how fastly the reactants are converted into products. Again, it is a measure of time. So you see in this apparatus, a balance is used. Conical flask has the reacting mixture. Cotton wool to keep it sealed. So the question part is, which other item of apparatus does the student need for this experiment? Again, I told you that studying about the speed must be a measure of time. So you select the correct answer. Which process is suitable for obtaining the water from aqueous solution of sugar? Here, 4 options are available: crystallization, distillation, filtration, use of a separating funnel. So when you go through the textbook thoroughly, you will be able to define all 4 methods, and then you will be able to select the right answer for it. Like, this is the separation of water from its solution. So it's none other than distillation. Which test could be used to show the sample of water? Water is a compound, H2O, is pure. You know, every compound has its own characteristic melting and boiling points. So the melting point or the boiling point can be a test for its purity. Now we see some more questions to understand the topic well. The first part is how pure copper sulfate crystals are obtained from impure copper sulfate. When you will be going through the textbook, you will get the very clear and detailed answer for it. Next is how the mixture of oil and water is separated. You have to see this separation is about the separation of liquids which are not mixed with each other, and the mixture in which the liquids are not mixed together, it is called as immiscible liquids. So the immiscible liquids are separated with the use of separating funnel, and how we do it, the detailed method is given in the textbook. What is filtration used for? Again, by going through the textbook, you will know that filtration is the method which is used to separate insoluble solids from the solutions or from the liquids. Why solids sensitive to heat cannot be separated by evaporation process? You know, evaporation is the very cheap or low cost method to separate liquids from solids. But there are certain compounds, mostly organic solids. Organic solids are very sensitive to heats because they have comparatively lower melting and boiling points as compared to the ionic compounds. So when we heat them strongly, they are decomposed. So to avoid their decomposition, they are not separated by evaporation process. What is a solvent? Again, the solvent is the major part or major content of a solution. How do we choose a suitable solvent for separating solids? The selection of solvent is just done on the basis of dissolving of solid substances. So always we select the suitable solvent for the separating of solids. Like we had done one MCQ in which we had discussed that charcoal is separated from sodium chloride. Again, here we decide one solvent which is in which the one of the solid is soluble or not. So this is how we apply different methods in different conditions. With this, hope that this video lesson will be helpful in understanding and revising and summarizing all of the topics from this chapter. Thank you. God bless you and take care.